10 years ago tonight, right?
That's right, and never lost a game here, John. Thank the Lord for it. He was gracious. We had 6 wins here, 2 undefeated teams, and great experience.
What about some of the players in that Linmar team, names that people will remember?
Well, Todd Lumsden was Mr. Basketball. John and Scott Anderson were on that team. Brad DeBrouwer and Scott Underwood, those were our top 5 players.
The interesting thing you were telling me the other day is you didn't get into basketball coaching until late.
No, I was 35 years old when I coached my first game. I was saying most guys were selling insurance by then. And I started coaching at 35, and I'm still coaching at 61. So I guess, and my dad's 91, so I guess I can go a while, John.
Congratulations on your election to the Coaches Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor for our family. Thank you.
Bob is coaching at Co, by the way, in case you wondered where he might be these days. Let's turn now to Steve Bergeson, who was playing with Ames in 1973, and you guys won a state championship out here that night.
We did. It seems a long time ago, but it's a lot of fond memories.
When you come back to the tournament, does it even bring those memories back stronger?
Oh, it really does. The fans, the excitement, the whistles, it really does.
You were the captain, I believe, of the all-tournament team that night. How important was that to you? We just saw some young men being honored before this.
Well, it was a real honor. It wasn't as exciting as it was to win the tournament and just have the privilege to play with a bunch of guys and go through that season. That was really an honor.
Tell us a little bit, Steve, what you're up to nowadays.
Well, I'm one of the pastors at Ontario Bible Church in Ames. I've been there for about 7 or 8 years, and then associate director with a international ministry called Build International, and we're working with churches in different parts of the world to help strengthen them through setting up church-based leadership training programs in their churches.
Very good. Congratulations on your election to the Hall of Fame.
Great. Thank you, John.
Both of these gentlemen will be inducted into their Hall of Fames later on tonight. That's the story from the floor. Let's go back up to Larry.
Okay, John, the Valley Tigers and the Ankeny Hawks get ready to square off. We take a closer look at the ball game. Valley, a team that basically, Gary, has gotten this far, surprised a lot of people. You'd have to say have done it on their defense.
Well, our defense has really been strong. It was pressure defense that got them into this championship game. They defeated Sioux City Healing, and they jumped out to a 13-point halftime lead, then hung on a little bit as Healing made a run at them, then finished up strong.
We take a look at their leading scorer, Todd Fazio. It is not a team blessed with a lot of scoring punch, so he's their leading scorer at only 13.7 a ball game.
And, you know, he hasn't shot the ball great in this tournament. He's not a great percentage shooter, but what I like about the kid, he finds a way to win. He's got a big heart. He doesn't like to lose. He had 2 big steals in that game, stripped Ben Jady, their star at Sioux City Healing, of one coming in and as a game-saving play, and then hit some pressure free throws down the stretch.
In fact, this is the big play that he made in the semifinals against Sioux City Healing.
Dr. Daniel Sims, please report to room A, second level.
As he really enabled his ball club to, of course, a big play that he's made some big plays. That didn't have to be one of them because that didn't have to be that game. No, but nevertheless, Fazio did make some big plays.
I think we were looking at Luch there, weren't we?
Yeah, I believe we were.
From Ankeny, who incidentally had a great second half in that semifinal game. He'd only scored 1 point, only 1 point in the first half. Came back strong. He's their second leading scorer and rebounder. Made some great plays all around. He had a baseline drive, a big rebound, which we saw there, and then later a steal, which turned that game around in the late going. A game that I don't think there's any more than 4 points difference until we get down to the last couple minutes.
Yeah, everybody talks about Sears and all the things he does for Ankeny, but Luch really makes some major contributions. Now back to Fazio. We were talking about him a little bit earlier, and there's the big play that we were talking about that he came up with.
If you see the clock down in the lower right-hand corner, it was his court awareness on that play. You say, well, he took a bad shot. No, he knew that the clock was running out. When he grabbed that, he put it up. It was a great shot. And that's what I say. He'll do all kinds of things to beat you. A very smart player.
And so Valley and Ankeny getting ready to square off in this 4A championship game. Ankeny back on the floor, and Valley still. Now they just come out, led by Coach Bill Harris. And we'll be back with the starting lineups after this word from your local station.
I know what you like, the Pontiac Grand Am 2-door.
And you like Grand Am 4-door.
You can both choose your Grand Am equipped the way you want it.
Stereo?
Yes.
Air?
Yes.
Anti-lock brakes?
That's right.
Plus a bumper-to-bumper warranty?
And right now, you can get all this for only $199 a month for 36 months.
We can own a new Grand Am every 3 years.
That's great. There's not much more to take care of except the gas and oil.
How does Pontiac do it?
See your Golden Circle Pontiac dealer.
Contact herbicides only work for one day, the day you spray. But weeds can come back. So check out Banvel, the only post-emerge, no atrazine alternative that works from day one. Spray it at spike for residual control of the toughest broadleaves all the way to canopy with no second flushes. So don't settle for one-day control. Get control from day one with Banvel.
The 1993 Iowa Boys State Basketball Tournament is brought to you by Norwest Banks, home of unbelievable free checking and unbelievable loans. And by Concert Herbicide from DuPont, making Iowa better for beans.
Control of broadleaf weeds in corn has advanced into a new dimension. Introducing Clarity, a new discovery that reaches beyond the limitations of conventional herbicides, beyond the limitations of buck drill. Clarity gets broadleaf annuals and perennials, and Clarity won't stop working the day after you spray. Its protection lasts all the way to harvest. Clarity, a new technology, a higher standard of broadleaf control.
He had a brainstorm to put animal shapes inside his cookie dough. They're new Pillsbury Teddy Bear and Dinosaur cookies, hot and home-baked with cool animal shapes inside. Whatever will he think up next?
At any time, on any given day, something unexpected can happen that could change your whole life forever. Robert De Niro's Tribeca, Tuesday on Fox.
By Banville from Sandoz Crop Protection, residual control from day one. By Clarity from Sandoz, a new technology, a higher standard of broadleaf control. And by Pontiac, we build excitement.
Ankeny. They finally got the tough one in the semifinals against Lincoln, and they were able to pull it out. So they had a fairly easy road, their toughest there at Mason City before that semifinal game.
The team comparisons indicate Ankeny scores more, but Valley really relies on their defense.
Well, their defense has been extremely tough. They've given up 54 points in the 2 ball games, and Ankeny gave up only 56 and 62, so we could see some good defense in this one.
Let's meet the players. His public address announcer, Don Euchre.
It's time for basketball. This is the 4A championship game. The visitors on the scoreboard defeated Waterloo East and Sioux City Heelan to advance into this game. They are West Des Moines Valley, the Tigers. The home team on the scoreboard defeated Ottumwa and Des Moines Lincoln to win their way into this contest. They are the Ankeny Hawks. And now, let's meet the reserves and assistant coaches for West Des Moines Valley. Number 20, Jason Shields. Number 50, Bryce Peterson. Number 30, John Stuck. Number 42, Ryan O'Day. Number 14, Matt Samler. Number 44, Kyle Johnson. Number 24, Ryan Jepson. Number 10, Scott Kilker. Number 4, Will Jess. And number 32, Brian Williams. The assistant coaches are Bob Hardin, Dick Fazio, and Jim Dewey. And now for Ankeny, the reserves, number 23, Jared Engel. Number 31, Andy Shores. Number 53, Brooks Lofstead. Number 11, Jay Skelton. Number 35, John Kruzik. Number 25, Grant Kimberly. Number 13, Chris Kopacek. Number 43, Jeremy Willie. Number 45, Craig Carlson. And number 4, Mike Myers. And the assistant coach, Dave Kissinger. And now, here are your starting lineups. For West Des Moines Valley, the Tigers. At forward, wearing number 34, a 6'2" senior, Mike Hardy. At forward for Ankeny, the Hawks, wearing number 33, a 6'4" senior, Jason Lutz. Forward for the Tigers, wearing number 40, a 6'2" senior, Tyler Peterson. At forward for the Hawks, wearing number 41, a 6'4" senior, Marilyn Aberdink. At center for the Tigers, wearing number 54, a 6'5" junior, Jason Lewis. At center for the Hawks, wearing number 51, a 6'6" junior, Todd Sears. At guard for the Tigers, wearing number 12, a 6' junior, Todd Fazio. Guard for the Hawks, wearing number 15, a 6' junior, Steve Olson. At guard for the Tigers, wearing number 22, a 6' junior, Scott Rimsberg. At guard for the Hawks, wearing number 21, a 6' senior, Benji Simpson. Head coach for West Des Moines Valley is Bill Harris. The head coach for Ankeny is Larry Ireland. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce your officials. The referee, Gary Christensen of Mason City. The umpire, Craig Snyder of Osage. And the bench official, Robert Oldus of Iowa City. And now, let's play basketball.
Gary, we talked about how Ankeny had an easier time getting here, and certainly during the season they did, than Valley. Valley has had to knock off number 9 Urbandale, number 3 Dowling, number 4 Waterloo East, and number 1 Heelan to get to this point in their season. Question is, could they be a little weary? Could this be maybe have the tank a little bit empty for this championship game?
Well, I think you find adrenaline for a championship game like this. I don't think there's any problem there. I think if there's any worry, it's about beating that team for the third time in a season. That's the thing you think about. You've had two, but here's the big prize. You want the big prize, and you've got to beat them for the third time in a row.
So you think maybe Ankeny has more pressure?
Well, I do. I really do, from that standpoint.
Hardy comes up with a steal, but then Haverdink gets one right back for Ankeny, and taking it to the hole is Luch. and Ankeny scores first.
Luce did a nice job there on the break. It looked like he got rid of that ball quick, thinking he was going to get it blocked. He got it up to the off the glass quick and got it down.
Both teams favor man-to-man defenses, and that's what they've opened in, is the shot from the perimeter nailed by Tyler Peterson.
When I noticed Tyler Peterson in that semifinal game, he's an aggressive offensive player. He doesn't take any time right there. He looks for the shot, gets it down. We've got a good start going.
Sears, a terrific perimeter shooter who can also post up. And with the rebound, Tyler Peterson.
Ankeny's been a big rebounding ball club on the year, but in this tournament, they've only had a 2-rebound advantage in this tournament, and that was against Ottumwa. They broke even with Lincoln in their game at 35 rebounds each, so they're going to have to rebound tougher, I think, than what they have been.
Benj Sampson, who had a terrific quarterfinal game, getting 24 against Ottumwa, bringing it up. 41 is Havernick, taken away from him by Fazio.
These are the kind of things that Todd Fazio does to beat you. He'll make steals, he'll make deflections, he'll catch long rebounds. He hustles all the time. In addition, he has the ability to score, getting 13 points or better a ball game.
At the top it is Fazio. There's Jason Lewis looking for Hardy. And the ball deflected and stolen by Steve Olson. So Sampson pushes it ahead. Gooch trying to take it in, and the game's first foul is whistled on Valley's Jason Lewis.
Ankeny doing a good job of getting the ball down quick. Got the running game going. Here comes Jason Lewis again. And you see right there, Jason Lewis not there in time to get his position. Gets called for the block.
Luch, 13 points and 9 rebounds against Lincoln. He got 12 of those points in the second half and 7 in the deciding fourth quarter.
Now that was just a super 2 quarters for him in that second half. We talked about him having only 1 point, that he was going to have to come to the forefront, and he certainly did in that ball game.
He came forward in a big way, and he puts the Hawks into a lead of 4-2. Almost 2 minutes gone in the first period. Olson against Fazio, and Olson with a steal.
Beautiful pass.
Sampson with a layup.
So that one was right on the money. There wasn't any margin for error there. It's a good look.
Fazio off the screen by Hardy. And loses it in the middle, off of Lewis and picked up by Havernick.
A lot of turnovers here in the early going.
Will both teams be tight?
Well, there's a tendency, I think, when you start a game like this, and then you lose it up. But they're shooting the ball. They're not tight shooting it, that's for sure.
Steve Olson with a tray, and Ankeny leaps to a 9-2 lead, the 5:18 mark, and Bill Harris will use a timeout. The score is Ankeny 9 and Valley 2, and we'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment.
It's bigger, it's better, it's back. The Norwest Home Equity Celebration.
Hey, I've hosted a lot of celebrations, but this one's the big one. Listen, I'm talking about interest rates under 8%. No closing fees, none at all. Possible tax savings, too. Now, there's a reason to celebrate. You could even win a trip for 4 to Euro Disney. Geez, I can hardly contain myself. Come on, join the Norwest Home Equity Celebration.
Only at Iowa Norwest Banks.
Good evening. This is the Channel 3, 10 o'clock.
Ever since we sprayed the corn with Bucktril herbicide this afternoon, old Buck's been pretty excited. That's because Bucktril gives us fast knockdown of velvet leaf, cucklebur, and other broadleaves. In fact, the minute Bucktril hits a weed, the show's over.
When it comes to controlling broadleaf weeds in corn, nothing measures up to Bucktril.
Buck swears it works so fast, he can hear the weeds drop.
The Hawks had scored 7 points in a row to open a 9-2 lead. Valley using a timeout before playing it in. We take a look at the turnovers, already a factor.
Yeah, we said there are too many turnovers early. 4 by Valley. Ankeny's converted into 9 points.
Hardy guarded by Luch. Now the shot by Fazio over Olson, and the rebound taken by Luch. Ankeny a chance to add to this 7-point run, but the deflection and steal by Tyler Peterson. It's Remsburg. Good effort by Sampson, who dives to the floor trying to save it. Benj Sampson does hustle, does make things happen. Watch this effort.
Boy, Sampson does a great job anticipating defensively there. He had him cut off before he ever made the move.
Sears denies the pass to Lewison, comes up with a steal.
See that pass put on the wrong side, on the defender's side. He has to come in away from that defender. Give Sears, who's quick for his size, chance to get to it.
Sears pass off the fingertips of Luch and out of bounds. And so the Tigers, down 9-2 at the 4:26 mark in the first quarter, will bring it up. Fazio against Olsen. That is a good matchup.
Now, Olsen is a tough defender. He stays right on you. Fazio likes to handle the ball. He's got his work cut out for him. Look at Olsen get up as soon as he picks up the dribble. Nice switch between the guards, Olsen and Sampson.
Fazio for three. And the rebound by Olsen. In fact, I think the guard court, both Olsen and Sampson, play as good a defense for guards as you see in this tournament. Luch goes right back up with his own shot, and he's got 6 in the first quarter.
Good hustle by Luch right there. He's a kid that likes to take it to the basket. We talked about yesterday. He had made the key basket on a baseline drive.
Remsburg tries to go inside against Sampson, and Sampson is called for the foul, and that is the first foul called on Ankeny. As you look at Bill Harris, very much a disciple of tough man-to-man defense, but right now it's his team's offense that's causing them problems.
Remsburg taking it in the middle, trying to give it off, but Sampson hacks him across the arm. Remsburg's had a good tournament, 30 points, which is in 5th place in the 4A scoring derby coming into this game.
Bryce Peterson replaces Mike Hardy for Valley, and Jason Engel comes in for Ankeny to take the place of Sampson. The rebound by Bryce Peterson, not related to Tyler Peterson. And that is Tyler swinging it over to Fazio. Bryce Peterson down low is hacked. Luch with his first foul, the Hawks' second foul.
Ankeny playing strong man-for-man defense right there. Really made him work, but Valley, on the other hand, good patience to stay with it till they finally got it on the inside.
Peterson, a 6'4" junior at the line with 3:14 to go in the period. Valley's been outscored 9 unanswered points since the game was tied at 2. And the scoring drought continues for the Tigers.
Valley in that semifinal game missed a lot of free throws early, and then when it was crunch time, they hit them all down the stretch, including Fazio, who had 8 in a row in that game.
Olsen travels the ball back to the Tigers. And Hardy, a starter, back into the lineup for Valley, and he will replace Bryce Peterson. And now we're going to have an officials timeout. 3:06 to go in the quarter. Ankeny 11, Valley 2. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium after this word from your local station.
I know what you like, the Pontiac Grand Am 2-door.
And you like Grand Am 4-door.
Uh-huh.
You can both choose your Grand Am equipped the way you want it.
Stereo?
Yes.
Air?
Yes.
Anti-lock brakes?
That's right.
Plus a bumper-to-bumper warranty?
And right now, you can get all this for only $199 a month for 36 months.
We can own a new Grand Am every 3 years.
That's great. There's not much more to take care of except the gas and oil.
How does Pontiac do it?
See your Golden Circle Pontiac dealer.
With John Campbell and Gary Thompson, this is Larry Morgan at Veterans Auditorium, where Ankeny's opened an 11-2 lead over Valley. The game was tied at 2. Since then, the Hawks have scored 9 unanswered points, and now the Tigers try to do something about that. The front line scoring. Ankeny's been doing it up front. They have good perimeter shooting. They haven't needed it. Now Remsburg misses from the perimeter for the Tigers. Olsen all over Fazio. Hardy.
Nice pass that time. Little lob pass over the top. Hardy doing a good job of holding his position so he gets the pass. Almost a steal by Hardy.
Hardy had a couple of minutes on the bench, comes back and appears well refreshed as he scores a basket and makes a big defensive play. Now Luch to inbound for Ankeny. Both teams looking for their first state championship. Both teams have finished second in this tournament, but neither's won. Olsen gets both defenders, at least got one defender into the air. Lewis stayed home to come up with a block. Sears puts it down. He is fouled, counts the basket, and the foul on Jason Lewis is his second.
Ankeny a tough rebounding ball club, but it comes off a block shot in this particular case. You see him take it in here. Sears goes up strong as he gets it back, gets it down. He's had double-doubles in the first two ball games. That's meaning double figures in both points and rebounds in the game. Two fine efforts.
With two fouls, Jason Lewis takes a seat on the Valley bench as Sears goes to the line. He's Ankeny's leading scorer and rebounder on the year. There was a lane violation that wipes off the free throw of Todd Sears.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Has to hit the rim.
13-4 the count. Ankeny 2:20 remains in quarter number one. Fazio off the pick by Hardy, but then Olsen comes right around that pick and is right with him on the other side.
Reached and grabbed, and I think he is an aggressive player, but he wants to be careful not to get into early foul trouble. Let's watch it again. This is a good matchup. This time he gets a pick, but Olsen goes behind. He's got him in good shape right there, but reaches and gets him across the arm. I think what he needs to do is just keep working on Fazio, try and tire him out because he handles the ball a lot. And keep putting a lot of pressure on him, but don't try and reach, grab, or foul.
Sampson back in at guard, replacing Engel for Ankeny. Fazio this time gets a little bit of daylight and drills it. First bucket for Todd Fazio, 13-6. Ankeny with the lead. And a foul called against Fazio, his first. 3 called against the Tigers in the first quarter. 3 have also been called against the Hawks.
Sears that time just all of a sudden making a move back to the middle, and Fazio is coming strong, couldn't hold up in time, just kind of ran in and bumped into him.
O'Day out, Bryce Peterson in. They're both taking the place of Jason Lewis, who's on the bench with 2 fouls.
Boy, the advantage of a guy like Sears, who says a very versatile player, he can come up like he's doing right now, handle the ball, and help you bring it up against pressure.
Sears, only a junior, takes it to the hole and misses the shot, and the rebound taken down by Peterson.
But they had the side cleared perfectly that time for Sears. Just didn't convert the shot.
Overcommitting, Luch to knock it away, and then a foul called on Remsburg trying to get it back.
Ankeny's defense really solid here in the early going.
Flat 2-2, push 20.
So Luch will inbound for the Hawks as you take a look at Ben Sampson, an outstanding baseball player, left-handed pitcher who's headed for Wichita State, unless he happens to be drafted very high in the major leagues. Then he'll have a decision. Number 30, John Stuck, into the lineup for Valley.
Jason Luch, a baseball pitcher also. In fact, he won the state championship with the help of a save from Sampson, who had pitched the earlier game.
And the help of a 6'6" shortstop by the name of Todd Sears.
Good athletes.
Hardy collides with Olsen, and Olsen is called for his second foul.
Olsen knew he had made a mistake right away there. He's got to stay out of foul trouble. He's picked up too early now. He's busting out. He tries to get over in front and draw the charge. Can't get there quick enough, and that's too early one, so put him back on the bench.
And Jared Engel, the 6-foot junior, who averages 6.8 off the bench, comes in to replace him. Engel has averaged 5 a game in this tournament, 7 against Tacoma and 3 yesterday against Lincoln.
Now we'll have to see the matchups, who matches up on Fazio, and that is Engel that takes him right now.
Peterson looking for Hardy, and the pass is wide and kicked out of bounds by Valley. It goes back to Ankeny with 58 seconds to go in the quarter.
Haverdick did a smart thing there. He got beat by his man, but he rode him in and then turned him loose and looked for the guy with the pickup help to help out. He got it, stayed away from a foul himself.
Haverdick does a good job of saving it, and the block from behind by Ryan O'Day. The sophomore for the Tigers with a nice defensive effort.
Boy, Sampson with a great alert play there. He came to the ball. The pass was made. You could see it was going to get intercepted. He saved it and then come back with the pass inside.
We go back to live action with 45 seconds to go in the first quarter. Taking it to the hole is Sears. His second basket.
Fazio not one to take a chance of picking up a foul right there. Again, the clear-out play, and they're using the quickness of Todd Sears in just an isolation play. They got him open down court.
Open is Luch. Great defensive effort. Set it up, and Luch with the easy 2. And he's got 8 in the quarter.
Luch, a smart player. If you saw him there, cut into the middle, so the man behind couldn't get the angle to go for a block, and he elected then to take it right up over the top.
Peterson on the drive, scores for the Tigers.
Peterson likes to go with that basket, but you've got to hustle back on defense if you're Valley.
Ankeny will have the inbounds with 1 second to go in the quarter as it went off of Fazio.
We've got an exciting championship game here. Valley a little slow out of the blocks, but picking it up now.
They certainly are. Would not count. It was after the horn went off. And so that's the end of the first quarter with a score. Ankeny 17, Valley 8. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment.
The glorious state of Iowa is in for something big. New DuPont Concert Herbicide. Applied post after a pre-grass, it's the best at getting your toughest weeds like lamb's quarters and pigweed. And its water-soluble bags are a to use. It's a performance your soybeans won't want to miss. Concert making Iowa better for beans.
Nearly 60 years ago, rural electric cooperatives brought electricity to small towns and farmyards for the first time. Today, your electric cooperative does more than supply safe and reliable electric service. We also bring the most technologically advanced services to homes and farms as well as to business and industry. We make communities stronger through economic development, and we help you use energy more efficiently. We're your member-owned electric cooperative, and we're working for you.
With Tracy Fazio, Todd Fazio's older sister. What do you think so far?
I think it's great. The whole team's playing well. Their confidence is up, and they're ready to come out and beat this team tonight.
And who's this fella?
This is Todd's nephew. This is Adam.
The youngest Tiger fan here tonight. Back up to you, Larry.
And, of course, to complete the family scenario, Todd's dad is the freshman coach at Valley, Dick Fazio. Second quarter underway. Fazio works along with Peterson, O'Day, and the drive is good by Fazio. There's a good momentum maker for the Tigers to start a quarter.
Certainly is, and I think a key thing is Olsen with picking up those 2 fouls, having to sit out, takes him off of Fazio.
Sears against O'Day.
Boy, that's what makes him so tough. He can put it on the floor. He's got quickness to drive it. He gives you a little head fake like he's going, raises up and hits a jumper. Tough player.
And the turnovers thus far, and Ankeny has really taken advantage of the 8 Tiger turnovers to score 13 points. Bryce Peterson.
That was a great pass. There we're talking about throwing the ball on the wrong side. That time they got it away from the defender, laid it out where he could go get it. And defender Gamble couldn't get it and ended up 2 quick points.
Sampson against Fazio. Luch being guarded by Peterson. Sampson misfiring, and the rebound out of bounds. Last touch by Valley. Bill Harris makes a couple of changes for the Tigers. Jason Lewis, who had to leave with 2 fouls, comes back into the lineup, as does another starter, Scott Rumsberg. Sears trying to increase a 7-point lead, and he is red hot. Sears now with 8 points.
And all they're doing is just a clear out and a one-on-one and letting Sears go to town.
Drake and Iowa State have already indicated that they are interested in Todd Sears. He is only a junior. No doubt we'll have some Division I offers to consider, maybe a bunch of them. On the way in, the foul on Sampson. So now both starting guards for the Hawks have 2 fouls.
Yep. That could spell trouble. Stuck that time, got a break when Sampson fouled him because he was in trouble. That wasn't going to be the best percentage shot he could take.
At the free throw line, Jason Shields. He's a 63% free throw shooter. Scored 2 points so far in this tournament.
And that was, I'm sorry, I said stuck on the shot. It was Shields. Yeah, 2-0 and 3-0.
Easy to understand. With 2 fouls, Sampson goes out. Marlon Haverdink, who was honored being one of the academic All-Staters earlier tonight, comes back in. In fact, before Ankeny got down to basketball business, a couple of awards, because their coach, Larry Ireland, was given a certificate for going over the 400-win barrier this season.
Here's what Ankeny's going to have to beat right now is this pressure defense. Get you into hurrying. You think you got some open spots. Valley does a good job of getting back in the passing lanes. Valley's, excuse me, I was going to say, Valley's been able to get some free throws or a bucket here lately, which allows them to press.
Pressure defense, I was going to say, that's why Valley is here tonight. That's what's got them this far. Lewis, his first bucket.
You know, I think their defense right now has really picked their offense up.
And it's down to a 5-point ball game. At the quarter, it was a 9-point Ankeny lead.
Ankeny right now, seemingly to me, just out of rhythm a little bit. They're playing faster than what they want to play to make good decisions, and it's the pressure of Valley that's causing that, and we get Olsen back in the ball game.
Well, they were playing without both starting guards until Olsen came back in, and that may have been a factor there.
No doubt about that. There's the clear out.
And Sears has really been able to burn Valley by clearing out that side for it. There he goes again.
Now that was a smart play on Sears' start. Lewis has started to shade him to the outside because he doesn't have any help there. He makes a head fake like he's going there, comes back to the middle. Lewis moved to the outside. He gets the jumper.
Double dribble on Stuck. The ball back to the Hawks. 5:15 remains in the second. Ankeny leads it 23-16. Hardy and Fazio come back for Valley, replacing Bryce Peterson and John Stuck. And for Ankeny, Sears gets a rest, and Brooks Lofstead, a 6'4 senior, takes his place.
Oh, nice give and go.
Lofstead misses, but there to put it back is Lofstead. 25-16, Ankeny. The takeaway by Andy Schurz, who just came in. So right now, Ankeny getting some big play off the bench. Schurz comes up with a steal. Lofstead came up with a basket.
A great hustle by Luch right there. It looked like Hardy had the steal and was gone, and he just dived for the ball and made the save. Great play.
Ankeny scores here. They had their biggest lead of the game. Luch right now with the ball is really the only scorer on the floor for Ankeny at this point. With Sears on the bench. He tried to get it to go down, and the rebound cleared by Lewis.
Luch having some tough luck right now and some close inside shots.
Midway through the second quarter, it's Ankeny by 9. Fazio hits. Offensive foul. No bucket. Offensive foul called on Fazio.
Fazio thought that he was going to go to the line. He's clapping his hands, didn't realize the foul's being called on him. Let's watch it. I don't think any doubt about that. He has good position. That's Haverdink in there taking the blow.
And of course, no judgment in high school basketball. A charge means no basket. The score is Ankeny 25 and Valley 16. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment.
You're gonna see the light. We're gonna see you through. You know we do things right. We're always there for you.
Wherever Iowans gather, more are covered by the plans of Blue Cross and Blue Shield than any other.
Don't you know it's true? You just can't beat the blues. Don't you know it's true? You just can't beat the blues.
The glorious state of Iowa is in for something big. New DuPont Concert Concert herbicide. Applied post after a pre-grass, it's the best at getting your toughest weeds like lamb's quarters and pigweed. And its water-soluble bags are a to use. It's a performance your soybeans won't want to miss. Concert, making Iowa better for beans.
Valley has never led. Ankeny led at the quarter, 17-8. They now lead by 9, 25-16 with 4:03. Let's take a look at the Norwest key stats.
Well, both teams shooting it well right now, 58%. Valley got off to a rough start. They still have 3 more turnovers. They had 4 early, but the job they're doing rebounding, they're hanging in their rebounding. We said I think that's where Ankeny has to pick their game up to really have an advantage in this game.
So with both teams shooting 58%, the difference obviously is in the attempts. Ankeny has had more shots at the basket. Both starting guards, Olsen and Sampson back in, and Sampson nails a 3.
Well, he had the big game, as you said, in that quarterfinal game where it was 10 out of 13, 26 points. And he can stroke it from outside.
This is the Hawks' biggest lead. All the starters back in for Valley. Lewis, a good perimeter shooter.
Let's see if we can pick up down this other end. I thought it looked like they were playing a box and one, maybe a triangle two. Let's see.
Well, the point of concern has to be Sears. He got 10 early, so let's see what they are trying to do against it.
Well, they got Remsburg covering on him in the zone, and all he's trying to do, which I think is a good play, is block Sears off the boards. He's not going to try and rebound.
So if you're Bill Harris right now, are you thinking, let's let the other 4 beat me, let's control Sears?
Right. Keeping him off the glass.
Peterson leaves it short. Fazio with an offensive rebound.
See, this is what I'm talking about Fazio, and I said he just does things to beat you. Gets the long rebound, steals, deflections. Got a lot of heart, doesn't like to lose.
Fazio, only a junior. Peterson, ball fake to get him some daylight, and he scores.
Boy, and that was a nice job by Peterson of staying away from the offensive charge there.
Valley back with an 8. Sampson looks for another 3. Sears with an offensive rebound.
Sears really fighting.
Boy, he is. He showed some aggressiveness that time. And Peterson clears it for Valley.
Ankeny getting what they want there. 3 shots, but couldn't get anything down. Beautiful pass.
Dishes for Lewis. Remsburg with the feed. Lewis with the bucket.
Boy, the Valley Tigers on a run right now. They've really picked it up.
They're back to within 6. This becomes a very important defensive stand for them as they try to keep the momentum their side. They would have to prevent Ankeny from scoring, really, to pull closer. They got a big rebound. Lewis with the rebound, and right now Valley can get right back in it by converting.
And again, Remsburg's just concentrating inside. It looks like the zone, and they've got him on Sears, and all he's trying to do is block him off the board.
Peterson with 8, and this is the closest Valley's been since the first quarter. We're into the final minute of the second quarter.
See what they're playing now. We've talked about whether it's a box and one, what we're talking about is a 4-man zone and a 1-man covering, and that 1-man is Remsburg, 6-foot against Sears.
And the shot put down by Haverdink that ends an 8-point Valley run. Remsburg with the miss follows his own shot.
Sampson made a mistake. He got away with it. Didn't check off the shooter, but now the Valley really playing quick. Good defense, anticipating, makes the steal, and scores.
And Remsburg stayed after it. Missed, followed, missed, but got the ball to Hardy, who scored. Clock winding down. Desperation shot by Olsen. And the quarter ends with Valley taking the momentum away from Ankeny. That's the end of the first half with a score. Ankeny 30 and Valley 26. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment.
Norwest Bank salutes Iowa. The state's 6,284 Norwest employees are proud to call home.
You're gonna see the light. We're gonna see you through. You know we do things right. We're always there for you.
Wherever Iowans gather, more are covered by the plans of Blue Cross and Blue Shield than any other.
Don't you know it's true? You just can't beat the blues. Don't you know it's true? You just can't beat the blues.
Ankeny leads Valley at the half, 30-26. For halftime information, let's go down to Mo Kelly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we could have your attention for a few moments. We have some folks we'd like to honor to present plaques to the individuals. Will be two members of the Board of Control of the Iowa High School Athletic Association. To my far right is Robert Nielsen, Superintendent of Schools at Westside, Arweva. And with Mr. Nielsen is Chuck Van Heck, Athletic Director at Muscatine, who represents all of the athletic directors of Iowa on the Board of Control. The most prestigious award given by the Iowa High School Athletic Association is the Lyle T. Quinn Award, in memory of a former executive secretary of the Iowa High School Athletic Association. Lyle Quinn served in that position for some 25 years. He was known as a great leader of interscholastic programs, not only in Iowa, but across the entire nation. And his philosophy was very simple. Whatever is best for the young people involved in the activities. That was the main goal. The individuals we are honoring tonight with receipt of the Lyle Quinn Award follow in that same mold. The first gentleman has not been at it for a while, but for some 45 years, he was a coach and a teacher up in the northwestern part of the state around the Holstein area. And when I say coach and teacher, I mean a great one. Perhaps the finest, the most successful multi-sport coach that we've ever seen in our state. He had championships, state championships in practically every sport. At this time, we would like to honor with the Lyle T. Quinn Award 1993, Russ Cry of Holstein, accompanied by his wife, Wilma. It just so happens that our next recipient also is from Holstein. He served as a member of the Board of Control of the Iowa High School Athletic Association and represented the school boards of Iowa on our board. The school boards of Iowa do have a member on the Board of Control. It's an appointed position, and because of the fact that he served the Holstein School Board for some 20 years, he was selected to represent all of the school boards of Iowa on the Board of Control. And as he did that, he did an excellent job of giving local school boards perspective on all of the various things that face the Board of Control in our interscholastic program on a day-to-day basis. So meet Lyle T. Quinn Award winner 1993, accompanied by his daughters Elizabeth and Stephanie, Cal Leonard of Holstein. Cal is presently a director of the Cherokee State Bank and also engaged in farming. So here we have our two Lyle T. Quinn Award winners. Another round of applause for Mr. Cry and Mr. Leonard. A highlight each year of our state tournament is introduction of new inductees in the Basketball Hall of Fame. This is a joint venture of the Iowa High School Athletic Association and the Iowa Basketball Coaches Association. These are some of the great coaches and great players in Iowa high school basketball history. And as we introduce them, we'll tell you just briefly a little about each of them. You can read more about them in your official tournament program. Let's begin with the coaches. Our first coach had a very high-scoring team from Elkader Central in this tournament back in 1972. As a matter of fact, they set records for single game scoring by a team and also complete tournament scoring by a team. 294 points in their 3 games. In 1 game, they had 108 points. He also had at Dubuque Senior a few years later a team that finished as state runner-up. So meet Hall of Fame coach, accompanied by his wife Tanya. Here's Merrill Hyde. Our next honoree, certainly a very unique situation. He was the head coach in 1973 of Mount Vernon High School. They won the state championship, a record of 27-0. In 1983, he was the coach at Linn-Mar Marion, a state championship, a record of 25-0. That's never been done other than this one time by this one individual. 2 state championship teams, 2 different schools, both of them undefeated champions. Meet Coach Robert Landis, accompanied by his wife, LaVon. Talk about great coaching success. Here's another one. A coach at Iowa City, Regina, with some 269 wins in his career, only 100 losses. 4 teams in the state tournament, 3 of the 4 state championship teams at Iowa City, Regina. Hall of Fame coach Bob Norton, accompanied by his wife, Carolyn. And our final coach inductee for this year, some 30 years, close to 30 years of coaching in Iowa high schools at Key High Lansing and most of the time at Waukon. That community had never had a team in the state tournament. He brought 2 of his teams to the state tournament, the only ones from that community. And over his career, almost 300 victories. Hall of Fame coach Wayne Sawyer, accompanied by his wife, Nona. Now we turn to the Players Hall of Fame for 1993. The first big guy was one of the big stars of the 1973 tournament. His team won the state championship, 26 wins, 1 loss. He led the tournament in scoring. He was the captain of the all-tournament team. He was the man that scored over his entire season that year, 19 points per average. But listen to this, a phenomenal rebounder, an average of 18 rebounds per game during his high school senior season. Later, a 3-year starter at Iowa State, and by the way, the Cyclones his senior year were the runner-up in the Big 8. So here's a welcome to our first player inductee, Steve Bergeson of Ames, accompanied by his wife, Ann. Des Moines Lincoln with a great state championship team of 1975. They won 25 in a row that year, topped off by that state championship. It wasn't just 1 year's success, though. Over a 3-year period that this young man was on Lincoln ball clubs and starring in the backcourt, they had a 3-year record of 66-5. He went on to the University of Northern Iowa, had a great career up there as UNI was rebuilding its program. And when he left, after being a 4-year starter, he was the career assist leader of the Panthers. Hall of Famer Mark Long, Des Moines Lincoln, accompanied by his wife, Beth. Let's talk about shooters, top scorers. This fella in the early 1950s was a 4-year starter, Protovan High School, finished with 2,124 points. It was an all-time Iowa record. Up until that time, that record had been changing every year or every other year. But when he established that mark, it stood for 9 years before it was broken. His poorest per season average was his freshman year, when he averaged only 19 points per ball game. Hall of Famer from Protovan, Bill Prohaska, accompanied by his daughter, Melissa. And finally, a great four-sport star from Tama High School. He did it all. A great track man, an all-state quarterback in football, a baseball player, but perhaps his best sport was basketball. He led the state in scoring as a senior with a 28-point average, had over a 23-point average during his career. Later went on to play at Iowa State, had a great career there too. A 3-year starter for the Cyclones, and left as the 4th leading scorer in Iowa State history. Hall of Famer from Tama, Gary Wheeler, accompanied by his wife, Darla. Ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the great names in Iowa high school basketball history. Coaches and players are Hall of Fame inductees 1993. Thank you.
Halftime of the 4A championship game. Ankeny leads Valley 30-26. But Gary Thompson, the Tigers scored 10 of the last 12 points in that second quarter to make it a ball game again.
I think their defense really got their offense going. They were a little sluggish at the start of the ball game, and they weren't putting as much pressure on as we saw in the semifinal game, but they really picked it up in that second quarter, and I think that helped their offense and got them back in this game.
And so it's back to being a tight ball game with still 16 minutes left in regulation. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in a moment after this pause for station identification.
Control of broadleaf weeds in corn has advanced into a new dimension. Introducing Clarity, a new discovery that reaches beyond the limitations of conventional herbicides, beyond the limitations of buck drill. Clarity gets broadleaf annuals and perennials, and Clarity won't stop working the day after you spray. Its protection lasts all the way to harvest. Clarity, a new technology, a higher standard of broadleaf control.
Get ready to save Iowa now through the 22nd during the Inside Out sale at Dewey Ford. Dewey is ready to deal on the new or used car, truck, or van you want from over 500 in stock. Weather permitting, you will stroll in the sunshine. And if the weather doesn't cooperate, Dewey will move him into Central Iowa's largest new Ford indoor showroom. Either way, you get the price, the trade-in, and the service you want before, during, and after the sale. Save big at Dewey Ford.
Do we treat you better? We do. Dewey Ford.
For the best values in furniture, shop Homemakers West. Many furniture stores have closed their doors, but Homemakers West continues to grow. It must be the large selection, almost 100,000 square feet.